My name is Cecilia, or Cecilia Francis, as some like to call me, and my role is costume designer. So, I used to work with Philip, with Phil, James and Liam, and I heard through the grapevine at work that Phil was doing a little film. So I thought, well, that sounds exciting. So I kind of cornered him into letting me join. And then, I actually initially joined thinking it was like a short film. And then I realised when we started filming that it was a feature film. And I was like, cool, I'm in. It was good, yeah. So as a costume designer, my role is to sort of make sure that every character has an outfit for every scene. But it sort of goes further than that. I mean, I kind of want to show mood, I want to show character development, character style, all these kind of things. So I'm sort of thinking about what the scene looks like, so lighting, thinking about the mood, you know, the decor of the room. So to kind of make the characters stand out or fit into a setting as well. My role is essentially do my research and have a good think of how I want to present the characters, and then just find outfits that suit them, and whether that means going shopping, looking online, or sort of adding little extra bits onto outfits, just seeing what there is. Yeah. During pre-production, it takes a lot of sort of forethought and planning in terms of thinking about the scene, really reading the script and seeing what it's asked and seeing where the scene fits into the film. So I will think about where that character is at during that time of the film. And, you know, for example, Peter, I think he starts off as quite a sort of simple boy next door type, but I think he really comes into himself throughout the film. So I kind of want to show that. So I kind of make sure that, you know, at the beginning he's quite plain in what he wears, and then as he kind of builds his confidence and he sort of is very much sort of supporting Evelyn, or they go through their difficulties together, and definitely more towards the end in the fight scene, for example, I really want him to come into himself. So yeah, I think about where the scene is in proportion, and then I would just kind of work out what I want each character to wear and get the clothes in preparation for that. So on a shoot day, it's kind of, on shoot we're all very hands on deck, so you know, everyone does their own role and then chips into anything else. So I kind of like to see myself as not just like a costume designer, but someone that can, you know, give a helping hand, whether that's, you know, jumping on sound or you know, putting people's mics on or checking continuity, that kind of stuff, and just helping set up generally. But on a shoot as a costume designer, I guess my primary role is to get people dressed, just make sure that everyone is ready and dressed for the scene. And continuity, I guess, is a big part of it. So making sure Evelyn's wig, for example, is that the fringe, all the hairs are in the right way, because if, you know, we change scene or whatever, it's going to look weird. So yeah, just checking little things like that, making sure people's mics aren't on show, that kind of thing as well. Yeah. Conversations generally between Philip and I are usually consist of me saying things to wind him up or to annoy him. So I like to bring that into when we're having creative discussion as well. But yeah, I mean, he's incredibly knowledgeable and incredibly helpful, and is always very much an advocate for our ideas. And so I find it's very easy to approach Phil and ask him questions about, you know, do you think this might be a good idea for this scene or for what this person's wearing? He'll usually be like, yep, that sounds good. Or, you know, if I think, we can very much easily have a sort of creative discussion together, and what he thinks, you know, kind of I can present my ideas, and if he's got any ideas he can tell me as well, and we just work collaboratively in that respect. Yeah. My first thing in sort of designing Evelyn is understanding that she's quite a complex character, and I think after meeting Millie as well and kind of seeing what she would bring to the character, I mean, before Millie was cast, I sort of read the script and I had an idea of what Evelyn would be like in my head. And so I sort of came up with a few different ideas to fit through different eras, I like to call them, of the film. So, you know, the 80s sequence, early Evelyn in the film, Evelyn in the fight scene, all these kind of different iconic Evelyn outfits. But I think when I met Millie, I kind of saw that she was bringing a fun level to Evelyn, which I think is a little bit more what Phil had intended as well. And so I think little things in what Evelyn wears, like little details, I think are quite important that can really elevate her character and show her complexity as a person rather than just a character in a film. So yeah, I guess it's attention to detail and little things that, you know, you think she's not just a vampire. You think like, you know, a young girl in her 20s who's obviously been through some stuff. I think, yeah, when I sort of met Millie, we had our initial chat. She's very much like a method actor in a lot of ways. And she was very kind of instantly creating mood boards and having a think of what she's going to bring to the character. And her and I worked quite collaboratively in terms of, you know, both of our ideas and what we were thinking for the character. Peter is kind of the opposite of complex, and I mean that in the nicest way, in terms of he comes across as quite sort of like your classic, maybe slightly introverted young man, and he's got real interests in certain topics, but also doesn't really want to be seen too much in the world. So I think that was quite important to bring across, especially towards the beginning of the film. So I was thinking about sort of lighter, more dull colours, like sort of greys, blues, that sort of thing. And then as the film develops, you start seeing more colour come through as he finds his confidence and as his character sort of develops and comes out of his shell. And I really want to kind of make that a prominent thing throughout the film. But also I think he's the kind of person that his situation greatly affects how he feels. So, like, for example, when he and Evelyn are having issues in their relationship, I really want to show a kind of, I suppose, regression in what he wears, because you're going to sort of see him having sort of bluish grey clothes towards the beginning, then he meets Evelyn, he starts getting a little bit more colour, a bit more greens, that kind of stuff. And then they have their problems and he kind of reverts back to, you know, grey hoodies and that kind of not wanting to be seen again. So I think that's quite important to get through in costume. To be honest, I don't think the limited budget is too much of an issue with costumes. You would think, you know, you need loads of money and blah, blah, blah. We can make it work because we have a great team who are all very much willing to lend clothes or that kind of thing. And then we have in the UK charity shops, which are always a plus. My favourite aspect of the role, I would say, this is going to be cheesy as anything, but I guess I love it when, you know, we're all together filming and we're all kind of hands on deck and we have a really long, crazy, hectic day. And then we kind of, we wrap it up at the end and we're really proud of what we've made. And we always have a laugh on set as well. So I think, to be honest, like, whatever role I was doing, if I was doing a different role, I'd still have a great time. But yeah, I think I also like the creative aspect of the role and being able to sort of be out of my comfort zone a little bit and just trust my instincts and just do what I think is best. Oh man, a highlight of the film so far. Now let me think. To be honest, there's been many highlights. I think, I mean, I would say highlights generally is just seeing when Phil has edited something together and we can get little snippets of scenes or whatever, and you kind of, you know, everyone's very much in their own department and focusing on the day on their part, but then you sort of see the vision come to light when we filmed and everything is put together, and you have this like really lovely rough cut or whatever that we all watch, and it's like, that's what we were doing, and it looks really good. I guess that would always be a highlight for me. And that, and also like just general chaos on shooting days, where I just wind up as many people as humanly possible and have a lot of wrestling matches with James and kick his ass. I think film and TV are very competitive industries to work in, and I think you need to have as much self-confidence as possible and self-belief. It is very ruthless, and I think it goes back to trusting your gut and trusting your instinct. If you think you've got something good, just go for it, because you never know what's going to happen. It's worth trying, and I think having a good support network of people that would help you, and I think you've got to be quite a kind person in this industry as well, because this is, I guess, selfishly of like, if you're not, no one's going to like you and no one's going to want to help you. So I guess in that respect, you need to be good with people, and you need to be willing to put the work in, and you need to be passionate about what you're doing. I think those are all important things, but yeah, just because loads of other people are trying to do the same thing, it doesn't mean that your thing's not going to work. And give it a crack. Yeah.